The president defied all convention and I think, objectively pushed the limits on federal law by holding his event at the White House.
Gathered here at our beautiful and majestic White House, known all over the world as the People's House.
This was the president that Republicans love and embrace for this very reason. It's the president that Democrats loathe and frame as a fundamental threat to democracy.
This election will decide whether we save the American dream or whether we allow a socialist agenda to demolish our cherished destiny.
Trump repeatedly went after Biden and the far left, the radical agenda, this extreme agenda, the socialist. We heard the word socialist a lot.
Joe Biden and his party repeatedly assailed America as a land of racial, economic, and social injustice.
Democrats nominated this establishment figure in Joe Biden, who's moved left over the years, but is not by any stretch of the imagination actually a socialist.
The Republican Party condemns the rioting, looting, arson, and violence we have seen in Democrat-run cities all, like Kenosha.
Trump is pointing at the violence in Kenosha, the scenes that we've seen with some of the protests since George Floyd's killing, and he's saying that this is Joe Biden's America. If you elect Joe Biden, this is what you're going to see. And Biden's looking around and saying, hey, you're literally the president now. This is Donald Trump's America.
Joe Biden wants to inflict a painful shutdown on the entire country.
Trump is saying Joe Biden's America would just shut the economy down and we can combat coronavirus safely without doing that. Joe Biden's America means a shut down economy. And Biden's is looking back at Trump saying, well, 180,000 Americans are already dead.
Our country wasn't built by cancel culture, speech codes, and soul-crushing conformity.
I'm sure the president is pleased with his speech, and I think his campaign staff is pleased with what he did tonight because they very clearly are running a base strategy. They very clearly are trying to define Biden as antithetical to what they see as the American identity and what they think a majority of Americans see as the country's identity.
We will make America safer.
The Biden team is just as confident that the vice president's framing this entire time that Donald Trump is a fundamental threat to American democracy and that this battle is one for a, quote, soul of the nation. They're just as confident that Biden's framing appeals to a majority of Americans.